Good evening and welcome to the news. There are presently only 5 active COVID-19 cases in the country, among them 3 foreigners. The Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Jude Gedeon, says that the Ministry of Health will soon give details on the vaccination plan for the population, which could start next year. Dr. Gedeon was speaking during the weekly press conference on COVID-19 at the Ministry of Health this afternoon. He also gave an update on the condition of the 3 health workers who were infected recently whilst working at the quarantine center.
There were 3 staff infected, 2 have recovered, and 1 is still active, would be discharged tomorrow if that person remains asymptomatic. And we have been testing contacts, family contacts, staff contacts, non-relative contacts and non-staff contacts, and so far I have not picked up any new positive cases. It is very important to keep stressing the need for everybody to take precautionary measures, especially as regards to respiratory hygiene, hand sanitization, wearing of face masks in all public places, especially where you cannot keep the distance of at least 1 meter or 2 apart.
Police have reportedly made at least 1 arrest after foreign workers staged a protest over the contract terms. Around 70 construction workers from allied builders walked from their base at Les Mamelles to the Employment Ministry. Their complaints center on annual leave, reimbursement of airfares, and the falling value of the Seychelles rupee abroad.
Can we fix it? The men from Allied Builders certainly hope so. They marched on the Employment Ministry today to complain about a contract variation they were asked to sign yesterday.
All people problem? Agreement is changed. Why agreement change? All India to come to agreement change. White paper signature. Why?
Ministry officials tried to placate them, but SBC News understands police were eventually called and at least 1 was arrested.
One of the issues for employees like these is that they're getting paid in rupees, and when that's converted into dollars, they're getting far less bang for their buck, and they're not happy.
The men say they've also been told to take annual leave here instead of getting paid for it at the end of their contract, and some say they haven't been reimbursed the cost of their airfares. This afternoon, both sides met to find a resolution, with the employer refusing to accept money was the issue.
No, there is no issue about any salary, there is no issue about anything else, but only about this annual leave, which is, for me, it's not an issue at all. So this should have come to us at management. We could have sorted out instead of all these things they are doing right now.
In a tight spot, the ministry listened to both sides, promising to ensure workers' rights are upheld.
As per the law, we have a clause relating to variation of contracts, but there is a procedure, like you have to talk to your workers first if there is a need to change anything in the contract, and you seek their consent in writing.
Docked a day's pay, at least, for their wildcat strike. The men were promised officials will visit their base tomorrow in the hunt for a resolution.
Seychelles joined the rest of the world in marking International Human Rights Day today. To mark the occasion, a symposium was held at the STC's conference center. In this current COVID-19 pandemic, the authorities and all others are urged to put human rights at the forefront. During this symposium, the head of the Seychelles Human Rights Committee, Judge Bernardin Renaud, noted that in this current situation of COVID-19, many people are losing their rights. Justice Renaud has urged all individuals to treat other humans with more love and wisdom.
Sadly, in many countries, the COVID-19 pandemic is aggravating existing human rights concerns, such as discrimination against certain groups, hate speech, xenophobia, mistreatment of migrants, sexual and gender-based violence. It is therefore necessary, now more than ever, for all governments to deal with the economic and social impact alongside the public health response. The Seychelles Human Rights Commission, on its part, is commemorating its first Human Rights Day in Seychelles. This year has been a remarkable one for the Commission as it has managed to recruit 9 full-time staff. With more staff on board, the Commission is planning to be more active next year and the years thereafter. To mark the Human Rights Day this year, the Seychelles Human Rights Commission has this week embarked on a series of activities to sensitize the public on this day, notably giving interviews on the radio and the television, and today's symposium is another important event where we have brought together a group of key stakeholders from various institutions, government departments, and civil society.
The National Assembly has approved a motion on a supplementary estimate of over 1.1 billion rupees for the year 2020. A bill which will follow the motion will now be put to the Assembly at the beginning of next year. The debate today went into committee stage with officials from the Ministry of Finance. The leader of government business, Bernard Georges, said the additional funds include money for social programs, subventions to public enterprises, and benefits disbursed by the Agency for Social Protection. Mr. Georges added that the sharp depreciation of the rupee meant that overseas payments, particularly by ANHRD, also contributed to the extra spending. In addition, the amended budget approved at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic did not take into consideration the elections for the National Assembly. The designated minister and Minister of Fisheries, Jean-François Ferrari, has said that he hopes the management of the Indian Ocean tuna factory will give certain benefits to its employees who have done remarkable work during the COVID-19 pandemic. During such time, the company has increased its production by 11%. Minister Ferrari also was speaking during a familiarization visit at the factory this morning. He was accompanied by management staff of IoT and from the Fishing Authority. Minister Ferrari made a tour of various sections of the canning factory and also interacted with workers.
I think the company is doing well. That's the good news. That's not me telling you, but the management told us that it's doing well. And when you do well, remember those who help you do well, and see how you can reward them, and how you can open this factory to more Seychellois, and so that the wealth remains in the country. There are a few challenges. Recruitment is one. Fish availability, in respect of quotas, is a challenge for the long term. But and a few other challenges. COVID was a big one this year. But these challenges are being taken care of. Just as IoT has been able to navigate this period of COVID in a very efficient manner, I am sure they will be able to deal with other challenges. I would have wished to see more Seychellois wanting to work and make a career here, but it's not happening, not enough.
The Minister for Tourism wants to raise the level of the Seychelles Tourism Academy to make it one of the best, at least in the region. Minister Sylvestre Degon expressed his vision for STA when visiting the academy at La Misère. Following discussions with the management of the academy, they agreed on the establishment of tourism clubs in schools and emphasized on careers guidance earlier in secondary schools. The plan is to encourage more students to join STA at the same time giving the academy the importance it deserves. As for students completing their studies at the academy, Minister Radegon said that the government is doing its best to be able to absorb them in the labor market.
It is a big challenge. The available jobs now are limited. So, it's a lot of juggling that we need to do to find, but it is clear that we will not be able to satisfy everybody. We'll certainly aim to give it our best shot.
Ambassador Dick Esperon said that Seychelles should engage more at the diplomatic level with the rest of the world in view of the economic situation of the country. Ambassador Sparrow paid a farewell visit to President Wavel Ramkalawan at State House this morning. Last week, the Minister for Foreign Affairs announced that Mr. Sparrow had resigned from his post as ambassador for the Indian Ocean. Mr. Sparrow said he has resigned because he has reached a point where he sees opportunities that will allow him to make other contributions towards the country. He said that President Ramkalawan and himself made a tour of his career and the contributions he has made to Seychelles in the various positions he held. You will recall he was also a member of the National Assembly and Secretary of State to reduce poverty, amongst others. We've come to the end of this news summary. Thank you for watching. Join me at 8 p.m. for more news in Creole. Until then, stay tuned.